And it was Memorial Day weekend, 2010, when the news broke that his body had been found in his apartment. And it had been there for some time. He had a massive heart attack. And his family wasn't supportive of his lifestyle, and they didn't bother to contact any of his friends. And so we found out about it after the fact, and found out that his family had gone into his apartment, and he had this intense collection of gay literature, just his huge library. They threw it out on the street, and people just took it. The one thing they did take from that apartment was his Mac computer, and that's where he published and put together Ganymede from. So when they took that computer, they took any hope that Ganymede, as we knew it, would continue. And people knew that I had become friends with John, and started talking what would happen to the journal. Writers were upset, especially young writers who hadn't been published anywhere yet. What's going to happen to my poetry? They direct those questions at me, and some even nominated me to take over the journal. Now, the thought of that scared me to death. I didn't know a thing about poetry. I'd watched from the sidelines as John put together my book. I paid enough attention to kind of know a little bit about it, but not enough to take over a journal. But I saw an opportunity in an unexpected place. And I felt John's ghost pushing me, his memory, his spirit pushing me. John, this Machiavellian guy, this king of opportunities, whispering in my ear, Bryan, go for it. You have my blessing. I just really felt like I did. And so I said I wouldn't publish another issue of Ganymede, but I would put out a tribute issue. And beyond that, I would consider creating some publication to take its place, to fill the void maybe. So I went to work, and in about a month's time, I unraveled John's design code, was able to build a book that looks pretty much like the original Ganymede. This 315-page journal called Ganymede Unfinished. And it includes several layouts that John himself designed. I had put out a call, any author that had received proofs, please send them my way. And so I put those in the journal. I had authors send in their work in honor of John. He had a lot of friends, and so we were able to put it out. And it was met with success, and we were able to fund a memorial for John and do readings from Ganymede Unfinished. And we invited his family, but they didn't come. And their loss was our gain. And suddenly, thanks to Ganymede Unfinished, my name was known by this network of writers. All these writers, I'd contacted every writer who had been in the issues of Ganymede over 7 years and invited them to participate. So they knew me from that. I had the ability to publish. I had My Life as Adam, Ganymede Unfinished, and I had incorporated the company to protect myself in case his family came back, because I was using those proofs and sort of the name Ganymede. They never came, and that's all right, because you know what? Now I've got my own company, Sibling Rivalry Press, and I think John would be proud. And then the lessons started coming fast and furious. I learned as I moved forward that the giants of queer literary history deserve our respect and reverence, even more than I ever realized. So many of them are still around, and they're willing to share their stories and give advice if we ask and then listen. So many of us are here in this industry and doing what we do in writing and reading, and because these people danced through the doors in the first place. And for me, those dancers came in the form of folks like Ian Young, whose Catalyst Press, he ran from Canada. He started that in 1970. Felice Lucano, Seahorse Press, he started that in 77, I think, in the Gay Presses of New York. Felice was involved in that with Terry Helbing and Larry Mitchell. Around the same time, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, a guy named Andrew Bifrost was putting out a journal of gay poetry called Mouth of the Dragon. And as far as I know, and if anybody knows, correct me, but I think it was the first journal exclusive to gay men's poetry around. And it gave a lot of poets their start, or a lot of writers their start. Dennis Cooper, Perry Brass. And in fact, Perry wrote a wonderful essay, which I included in Ganymede Unfinished, about Mouth of the Dragon. And it really caught my eye. And I credit it with being the inspiration for what I produced to take the place or fill the void of Ganymede, which is our journal, Assaracus. Now, the name Assaracus is a play off Ganymede. Ganymede was the youth who was swept up by Zeus's eagle to go serve at the god's feet. Assaracus was his earthbound brother. So you see, it works. Ganymede, Assaracus, sibling rivalry press. It all kind of goes together. And plus, Assaracus, come on, I'm not saying it right. It's Assaracus, I think, but no. If I'm doing a journal of gay men's poetry, it's Assaracus, all right? Now, Assaracus is a quarterly journal of gay poetry, and it's the only print journal in the world dedicated exclusively to gay men's poetry. Like Colin said, we do have a lesbian journal in the works. We're calling Lady Business, and it's going to showcase the work of our sisters. So I'm excited for that. Assaracus has been a real treat to publish, and it's taught me another lesson. It's taught me that it's crucial for LGBT writers to have a safe space for their work. I think a willingness to publish the style of writing is really what's put Sibling Rivalry Press on the map. Every time I put out a call for submissions for Assaracus, the response is overwhelming. Right now on my computer, I have just tons of submissions I need to go through. I'm going to when I get home. But had to get through this first, Colin. But there's the people that send me work are from all stages of their poetic careers. I've got the old guard, the people that have been publishing for decades. I've got people like me who've got one book out. I've got college kids, high school kids. It's really cool. And geographically, there's no pattern. I've got submissions from Montana and Nebraska, places like that, Hong Kong, Australia. So that's been really cool to see. But what really has been uniform in the submissions, the enthusiasm that's accompanied those submissions. They've been so excited. I'm so happy to find a place to publish work like this. So many people have said that. And at first, I wondered why that was. And it's not that these poets, the only thing that they produce is gay poetry, and this is the only type of place they want to publish, but it's that they feel safe publishing with me. And it's just, I publish, a lot of gay sex, gay pain, gay love. That's not what I intended to do initially. I just wanted to feature authors who identify as gay and then let them write about whatever they wanted. But 90% of what I see is gay themed. And I think part of the reason is that, if you go like to Chili's or somewhere to eat, you're probably not going to wear like a leather chaps, your flaming attire. I mean, some of you might, Dustin, but some of you might. But you're going to maybe be a little bit more conservative. But when you go to the bars, you're just going to let your flame burn bright. And that's kind of what I've seen with Assaracus. And I'm happy to stand along. I'm not the only one doing this. I'm happy to stand alongside presses like Lethe, Midsummer Night's Press, Cleus, Rebel Satori. I'm not the only one doing this, and I'm very happy to report that all these places, all these folks, companies have been very welcoming to me, and we tend to work together. We share advice and tips, and we're not really competition. We're here to push the cause forward, and I've been really pleased with that. And Craig from Lethe is here, so thanks for coming, Craig. I'm sad to say, though, that Chiron Review, which was really a friend to our community for years and years, Michael Hathaway recently closed that, and He's not gone though. He's going to be in an upcoming issue of Assaracus. I'm excited to publish him. But with Chiron gone, really the need for Assaracus just is magnified. In the pages of Assaracus, I publish kids from suburban or rural America who have to write in pseudonym because they aren't out yet. Adults too who aren't out, get their employers or whatever, and I'm fine with publishing people writing under pseudonyms. I've published writers who were in Mouth of the Dragon back in the early days. They haven't published since then because they said they haven't felt comfortable publishing anywhere. But they do have a place. They have a place with me. And with Assaracus, I try not to do much editing. I just want to give the poets the microphone and let them sing their songs.